Okay, I guess I better mute Craig Ferguson. He's a very funny guy, though. It's been a week since my last video blog entry. It kind of feels like confession. Dear Father, it's been 7 days since I last blogged. I don't even know if that's what you say because I'm not Catholic. But anyway, it is now June 11th. I believe it's June 11th. Let me look at my phone. Yeah, Wednesday, June 11th, 11:42 p.m. And I've been meaning to get to these assignments, but I've been kind of lazy the last few days, and I haven't done it. So be it. Maybe tomorrow morning I can do it, but I wanted to at least get something out there because it's been a while. I don't have a whole lot to say, but I do have some news, which is interesting. Now, if you have been watching my little life since the beginning, you might remember that my very first entry, I mentioned that in the last 8 months or so I lost my wife, my job, my home, my vehicle, or one of my vehicles, and my dignity. I think that's how I put it. The home is actually being foreclosed upon. I'm one of the millions of Americans who is losing their home. It's really simple. I'm losing it because I cannot afford to live in it by myself. My wife moved out, leaving me here, and I simply can't afford it. So the home, the foreclosure process was started in February. I think the last payment I actually made was August of last year, August of 2007, I think. We have a mortgage through Washington Mutual and a second mortgage with Wells Fargo Bank, the smaller one. Wells Fargo continues to call, wanting, I don't know why they haven't started a foreclosure action themselves, I don't know, but maybe it's because it's a smaller amount, I don't know, but they keep calling asking for their money, and of course I'm not paying it because I don't intend to live here because I can't afford to live here, so they're not getting another cent. When my wife and I started having problems, actually it may have been September of 2007, the last payment was made, I can't remember, but when the possibility arose that we weren't going to be together anymore, I pretty much said to her, you know, I'm not paying another dime on this house unless you're going to commit to our marriage, and that we're going to work through this, because I'm not going to just throw money away, and if, you know, we're going to split up, I can't afford it, and I'm not going to pay another dime. I don't really want to get into the specifics about how my marriage collapsed, but bottom line is she wasn't interested in any sort of reconciliation, wasn't interested in marriage therapy, she just wanted out. So, again, I haven't paid anything since August or September of last year. I think August was the last one, September is when the next payment was due. But anyway, the foreclosure process began in February. It's interesting, though. I should tell you this quick story. I knew the loan was about to be charged off, and I tried to get in touch with Washington Mutual to see if I could work something out. I was told that Washington Mutual, their customer service is really tough when it comes to if you get behind in your loan. They're hard to work with. They're not really keen about working with you to try to resolve your problems. But I wrote to them in February, and basically I was writing to, or I tried to get in touch with them in February. I was doing that to see if I could delay the process. I knew eventually the home would be foreclosed upon, but I wasn't paying anything, so I could stay here as long as, you know, until the sheriffs came and physically removed me. I would obviously leave the house before that happened, but I could live here rent-free for as long as I possibly could. So in February, I tried to get a hold of their customer service, and Washington Mutual Bank, their customer service sucks. It's just terrible. But eventually, I got to a human being, a voice, and I gave my sob story and said, look, I'm in a position now where I can start paying you again, even though I didn't have any intention of paying again, but I told them that I was in that position. I could start paying them again, but I just need to deal with the past due amount, and I'd like to get that kind of tacked on at the end and see what I can do. Well, the woman said that there's really nothing I can do for you. What you have to do is submit your sob story, your proposal in writing, and fax it to us. And she gave me a fax number. And I said, okay. But I said, there's nobody I can talk to now? And she said, no. What's going to happen is your fax will come in, and then in 6 weeks, minimum of 6 weeks, your case will be assigned to one of their customer service people. And I was like, you know, I can't wait 6 weeks. We're close to filing bankruptcy, which was true, even though we haven't actually filed yet, but we are going to. I said, we're close to filing bankruptcy. I would like to save the house if I could, but I need to get this resolved ASAP. At this point, we have about a week to 2 weeks left before we can do this. Actually, it was less. It was about a week. And she said, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. You got to fax. It's going to be at least 6 weeks before you even hear from us. And I said, I can't do that. So I called back the next day and spoke to somebody else and got the same story. So their customer service wasn't going to help me, even though my situation was dire. So I did a little research and I found out the name of Washington Mutual's CEO. I believe his name was Kerry Killinger, and he works at the Washington Mutual building in Seattle, Washington, I believe it was. And I poked around, made a few calls, and bullshitted my way a little bit on the phone, which is something I'm good at. And I could not reach Mr. Killinger personally, but I did get his personal fax number, which faxes right into his office. Apparently he shares a fax machine with one other person, so it goes into his office personally. And I wrote him a nice long letter, basically a sob story. I'm like, look, I want to start paying on this again. Your customer service isn't helping me. They say at least 6 weeks before they even listen to me. I don't have 6 weeks. I need to know, now, in the next week. And I said, look, if we can't get this resolved in the next week, we're going to file bankruptcy. We're going to lose the house. You're going to get nothing. You're going to get absolutely nothing except another house, which I know you don't want because you're foreclosing everybody anyway. You don't need another property. The alternative is you can work with me and start getting money from me again, $1,000 every month from me again, and you would save the money from hiring attorneys to foreclose upon me, and you wouldn't get another property. So it was basically a win-win situation. All they got to do is help me out. They had everything to gain by helping me and everything to lose by not helping me. And it seemed like a perfect situation for them to jump at. I never did hear from Mr. Killinger. Well, I shouldn't say that exactly. I got a form letter from Mr. Killinger's office. Actually, it wasn't his office. It was by somebody else, but it was copied in. It was a CC to Mr. Killinger as well. It's basically a form letter that came to me in the mail 6 weeks later that said, you need to contact our customer service number, and they gave me the phone number that I already had from before. So basically, I don't know if they actually read the letter or not, but if they did, by the time they read the letter, by the time I received the response back, the foreclosure action had already started. So I guess they didn't take too much stock in what I said. But anyway, the foreclosure action was started, and the court date was this Friday, June 13th. Now, I've been watching, paying attention. They never did get me served or my wife served. Never answered the door. Actually, they had the wrong address, if you can believe that. They had an address on me in a different town, even though they're foreclosing upon me in this town. It makes zero sense to me, but whatever the case is, we never got served. So I went down and got a copy of the pleadings, and today I went into court as a delaying tactic, and I answered the lawsuit. It was a general denial. I denied almost all of the pleadings, and I filed it today. Now, what that I was intended to do would be they would get that, and then since I filed an answer, they would have to set up a hearing. So basically, I'm delaying it by however long that would take. Another a month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, I don't know. I was just basically buying myself some extra time to stay in this house. Well, Wisconsin has a web page where you can follow all these circuit court actions in the state. I looked up my name about an hour ago, and I looked at the action just to see if my answer had been filed. It didn't list that my answer had been filed, but it listed something else instead. The action was dismissed. The entire foreclosure has been dismissed. What does that mean? I don't know. They'll probably refile at some point, but at this point it means I've just bought myself another year. I can stay here another year, because the whole process takes 10 months to a year. And I was looking, I probably have to move out in the fall, or maybe in October, November, December, January, something like that. Now I can probably stay at least until next summer. So, some great news for me. The secret works. I'll hopefully be back tomorrow or the next couple days with some assignments. So, peace out.